All right, we're going to call to order the meeting of Board of Inspectors, and at this time, we'll open the meeting to any public comment from anybody in attendance, and anybody appearing via Zoom. Sure, thank you. And I don't see anybody by Zoom, so we'll move on to new business. And the first order of new business is an appointment of an interim warden. How do you want to have any discussion about this, or how do we want to proceed?
Well, I think somebody needs to kick off the idea that we obviously are losing a very qualified individual who's served the county in an amazing capacity. So those shoes will be hard to fill.
Agreed.
And with that, and I want to recognize Chris's service to Center County and all the amazing things he's done for our correctional facility, and wish him well into the future, which leaves us the gap of filling.
Correct.
And his position.
I will second Steve's comments. Chris has been an exemplary warden. We've seen huge improvements in morale at the facility. We've seen continuing decreases in the number of Center County returning citizens at the facility. The tenant inmate situation has been very well managed. And my goodness, you kept the place intact during COVID, when quite literally neighboring counties were not able to keep their facilities in good order during COVID, including that county we literally bailed out over I think it was more than a weekend, wasn't it, Chris? Wasn't it more?
30 days. It was 30 days.
It was almost a month. And yeah, we didn't ask you to do that. You literally stepped up and said, well, I'm concerned about the citizens of other counties as well, and other sister counties. So amazing job.
I'll just reiterate, it's a team effort. Team effort. And the staff that I got, I would not want to go through anything else without them. They're in the solid support of everything. They took my lead and went to the next step, and it was just a positive experience with the staff. So I got to admit, it's a team effort.
With that being said, I would begin the discussion by the consideration of appointing Deputy Warden Irwin to the position of acting.
From my point of discussion, I do agree with that. Does anybody want to add anything or have any discussion regarding the appointment of Deputy Irwin?
I had a discussion with Warden Shaw prior to this.
Anything else?
I think he's served the county well. He comes with decades of experience in corrections, and I think he has the capacity to operate the correctional facility with the high quality of service.
And from my perspective, obviously, the Warden Shell knows how I feel about him and his leadership. And Deputy Irwin, I believe, was brought in by Warden Shell, and if I understand, shares the same philosophy and has a very good rapport with all the staff at the prison. It seems like that would be the most fluid way to keep kind of the direction of the prison and moving in that direction. So if there's no other discussion or any other candidates to discuss, anybody want to make a motion for the appointment of Deputy Irwin?
I'll make a motion.
Second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
What's the effective date? We haven't got there yet.
Chris's last day is the 27th, right? So we would make it effective 28th. And he would go per policy to salary grade 20, step 2.
I would amend that thought with the idea that upon Chris's final moments, that at that point, Deputy Irwin become acting. Because you don't want you don't want a gap in there in the event that there may be. Am I correct?
I would agree with this Warden.
Right. 28.
Yeah. 26th is my last working day.
26th is your last
Working
working day,
day, so-
then it would be the 27th.
And then the 27th.
As long as there's no gap in coverage, it might be better.
Any other discussion regarding the administrative transition? Human resources or anything else? All right, so we'll move on to recruitment discussion. Yes, there you go.
So we will, job's been posted, and I'm going to contact Chris later today about some other avenues we can post it with. We'll post it with and NACO, other organizations, but I want to post it with some ward and association things as well. What I need is direction from how the process will go. The prison board is the entity that appoints the warden, so they will need to be part of the whole process. So I wasn't sure if we'd like to do, if we'd like all applications to go to the board initially. Would you like us to screen them first and give you a list of the candidates and their education, experience, etc., and who qualified or not? I just would like the direction on how you'd like the process to go, because we're already starting to get applications.
Sure. So there's obviously some baseline requirements, correct? Yes.
We
So
usually try to screen
yes.
the applicants first. We provide you a list of those who are qualified, those who are not, and we can give you their education and experience. The commissioners, Steve and Mark, are used to seeing these. We give them a spreadsheet with here's their education, here's their experience, any additional information, and then we provide that to you, letting you know they make the requirements. Then from there, we narrow down who should be interviewed.
I know Commissioner Dersham, I think it was Commissioner Higgins, you're involved in the last interview. Were you here for the last interview process, or is that?
We were.
Yeah, so you understand how it works, so maybe you can,
Shown from
yeah, so as far as the process of how this should work, you probably have the points of reference. Obviously, whatever you did last time worked well, so we should probably follow that same
Well,
format.
apparently we did some fine theft of personnel from York County, so.
So I can provide that listing once we have applicants to the full prison board. But for first round interviews, second round interviews, who would you like included in those? I can then get them scheduled once we know.
So again, I'm speaking from my perspective, but I'll defer to the commissioners because they have a little more involvement and experience with this. It would be that if someone doesn't qualify, I don't think there'd be any
Right.
reason. I would take them out of and we just want to have qualified applicants to kind of break down. Is that kind of the answer to your question?
Right, so we would we give you that list. Prison board could narrow down, only those qualified candidates would get interviewed, of course.
Okay.
And then, but who would sit on that panel? We normally, like, we would have, in the past, we had the county administrator, because they work directly with the warden on a regular basis. We would have someone from the prison board, human resources sat in.
I like to see once you narrow it down to a few.
Yeah, but then to do a first round initially, then that round of interviewers recommends for the second round, which could be the full prison board, to meet with the candidates at that time. I think or we opened it up. The whole prison board didn't necessarily attend, but we always opened it up for
Sure.
anyone on the prison board to
Can you
attend.
just send a complete list of everybody who's applied to the commissioner's office, and we can maybe help you with the filtering process?
Sure.
I think Brian's suggestion of following the more traditional process of having, administrator, somebody from the correctional facility, possibly one or two other experienced department heads or row officers sitting in, but have it as maybe an open invitation to the board, just hoping we get at least one board person at those first rounds, but to have this many people go through, goodness knows, 8 or 9
Yes.
interviews. I think it's best if we get involved as a whole board as in the second round, where it might be down to 3 or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's what my thought was too, that with the second round, we can invite the whole board of inspectors, and we'd only have a few candidates for that.
That works for me.
I was looking for directions. Sounds reasonable.
Does that work for everybody? Work for you?
Yes.
Okay.
thank you.
All right. We need to we don't have to vote on that, do we? Or
Mhm.
okay. So those are our 2 points of new business. Is there anything else we need to discuss about recruitment before we move on to adjourn?
On the recruitment, not just federal.
Or is there a listserv through the Prison Wardens Association that may be useful in this? Not that we enjoy stealing people, but
It's worked well. But we're not.
I know you're active in that.
We're not
Yes, in both organizations as well as supply.
And I mean, this kind of goes without saying, I know Warren Shell understands this, but from the court's perspective, with our treatment courts, there's been a lot of partnership with the prison, and Warren Shell's been excellent. So it's imperative from the courts that we have someone of Warden Shell's caliber to do that. And I commented on some of this last week, but I just wanted to make that clear. And obviously, the district attorney would probably agree with that too, as we process people through that. This jail has been outstanding in working with us. So. All right. So with that, if there's no more discussion, I guess we'll move to adjourn. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're adjourned. For those here in attendance as well as by Zoom, we do have the next Board of Inspectors meeting, and that's scheduled for February 9th of this year at 8 a.m., and that will be held at the correctional facility. Okay, that adjourns the meeting.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So I'm going to stop the recording and then end the call.
Okay.